Hello everybody, I am here with another boxing from New Craft Day, and you'll remember we have a 10% off code for New Craft Day, which I will put on the screen. It's geared 10. I have a couple of cross stitches in here and a paint by number. Today I'm going to unbox the paint by number, and the reason I'm going to do this in two videos is because while I think that people who like cross stitch will like paint by numbers, I don't think it's a complete one-to-one correlation. So if you like paint by number or you're interested in it at all, please stick around. Here is the image that I will be doing, and we are going to, as usual, test this paint as well as look at the unboxing. What a beautiful image. Now, when I chose this image, I was thinking you would not normally see tulips growing at the sea. The sea is salt water. Tulips live in nice soil, not in sand. And then I thought, okay, this is somebody's beach cottage and they have a nice planter box, and that's where the tulips are growing out of. So that made it okay in my mind that it was tulips and the beach. But honestly, that image is so beautiful. The colors are amazing. And we are going to look at the colors and the canvas. Let's start with the canvas real quick. So as usual, we have a set of paintbrushes. This one is held together with an elastic. I haven't seen that before, but I haven't gotten a new paint by number in quite some time. All right, it is on a foam roller, which is nice. The foam roller plus elastic meant that there are no wrinkles in the canvas. It is nice and smooth. I won't need to iron it. I don't see any really tiny cells. So that's great. I'm going to flatten this out and we'll get closer. Just a sec. Okay, so here we are a little bit closer. These clouds at the top, I have the camera in my hand, so sorry if there's shaking. These cells at the top are a little bit smaller, but there's nothing too tiny. There are some really thin, long sections. And then down here at the bottom with the tulips, these are all fairly big cells and sections. Again, some sort of long, skinny cells, but not like a bunch of super tiny ones right beside each other, which are the ones that are really difficult to do. Okay, here I am down close at the sort of most confetti-ish, smallest area. And as you can see, all of these numbers are clear. And they're not only clear on the canvas, but they're also clear by plain eyeball looking. So this is going to be really nice to paint. This did not come with a separate map or key, so it will be a good idea. I will take a few pictures of the canvas before I start painting so that if I do accidentally paint over something, I'll be able to retrieve that information. I don't foresee that there will be any issue, but that's what I like to do. All right, and this is kind of a coated feeling. It feels like there's, like on this side, it's raw canvas, and then on this side, there's like a layer. So I'm gonna test the paints, I'm gonna test the gesso, and let's have a look. Okay, so I've arranged the paints on the palette, and as you can see, they just have a color number. There's no DMC equivalent number, so that's too bad. If one of the paints was bad, then you wouldn't have a way, or if you didn't have enough, you wouldn't have a way to definitely find the equivalent color, but not a big deal. Number 6 and number 9, I was only able to tell the difference because of the side that the container opens. So they're pretty similar colors. So just need to be careful of that. Now this is the first and only paint by number that I have gotten from New Craft Day. So I'm not sure if this is the only brand that they have and this is the only way they come. I do like it when it's individual pots rather than them being attached on a strip. I usually cut them apart if they're attached on a strip. I haven't opened any of them, but so far they still all look wet and juicy, so it doesn't look like anything dried out in shipping. And I am going to use, ooh, these are nice paint brushes. These look great. Look at how pointy the little guy is, and a nice big smooth fat paintbrush. All right, let's start doing some swatching, and I will speed you up for this part. All right, I'm going to try to do this with as little shaking as possible, but you can see the coverage of these paints. These few lighter colors, I didn't expect them to have the most amazing coverage in the world, but I think with a second coat, they will be pretty good. And the bottom hash mark is the one that has gesso on it. And you'll see in the case of these paints and this canvas, the gesso hasn't really made much of a difference. Maybe on number 12. But so for, you know, everyone, like gesso is a controversial topic about whether gesso helps on these types of pre-treated canvases. And honestly, I have not found gesso to ever make a huge difference myself. I will continue trying it because I have a big $20 bottle of it, but I have personally never really found it to make much of a difference, and the proof is in the pudding here. I am going to put a second coat on these and have another quick look. All right, here are the results from the second coat, and I didn't go over anything twice that already had perfect coverage, but you'll see number 3 is going to be a little tricky. I think number 5 will be fine, even though there's a tiny bit of peek through. These will all be fine. 15 is still wet. And then the biggest problem color is going to be number 24. Even number 20 is still pretty thin, but it's like a neon pink, so I kind of expected that. 21 will be fine. 24 is going to be the hardest one. I put a really thick globby coat on there of number 24, but it being this kind of off-white, that's really peeking through. Now, I did notice something very cool that I didn't notice when we were first looking, and let me show you. So numbers 20 to 24 paint colors are pinks. And I don't know if you can see it that well. It doesn't look that great in the camera, but number 22, number 23, number 20, all of these numbers are in a red font. 23 you can't see very well, but number 4 is like a gray, and number 23 is more of a red, and like all of these in here. So we're going to be putting pink over these more red numbers. So I think that that's a good sign, a good thing to do. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to paint up a little bit of this canvas so we can have a look at how it is going to appear when finished. So I will time lapse that for you. All right, so I finished the sort of head of this tulip, and I must say the colors are quite a bit different than what I expected. So that is this tulip. That is this tulip right here. So it does have the green on the top, which at first I thought was a little funny down here, but it does have the green on the top. But these are very like pastel-y colors, and this is much more in your face, vibrant kind of stained glass colors. It also has this sort of stained glass effect, whereas on the picture, the outline is very light. And then, so it's very light outline, and then down here it's quite a heavy outline. So it's not quite what I expected, but the coverage is pretty good. I managed to mostly cover the numbers. If we look up really close, okay, looking up really close, you can still see like the shadow of where the number was, but if you're standing a couple of feet away from it, the way you would be if you were looking at it once it's on the wall, you're not probably going to notice that. And I could put on another coat. This is basically 2 coats of those tricky colors, but it looks pretty good as far as coverage. So I am going to, just for interest's sake, try gessoing a little bit and see if it looks much different. All right, so here we can see the 2 finished flowers. This was the one without gesso. This is the one with gesso. This one is still just a little bit wet, so it's a little more shiny. But as you can see, with 2 coats, it mostly covers up the number. You can still see a shadow of the number here, a shadow of the number here, a little bit of a shadow here. Now, what I did notice is that this was a little bit smoother going on. It was a little bit nicer of a painting experience. But as for coverage of numbers, it mostly looks the same between the 2 of them. I might, because this went on so nicely with the gesso, I might go ahead and gesso some more of the canvas, do a little bit more testing, but I'm pretty pleased with the coverage of all of these colors. Like, these light pinks are the worst colors, and they've covered pretty well compared to other paint by numbers that I have done in the past. I might pop up and do a little bit of the sky as well before I finish this video, but I hope this has given you an idea of the paint by numbers available from New Craft Day. And don't forget, if you want to purchase something from New Craft Day, to go ahead and use our discount code GEARED10. And I will just continue on and do a little bit more work. Okay, so I've just done a small portion, this is upside down, of the sky, which you can see here. This is the darker bit of sky. Of course, I picked the darkest bit right there. Sorry, not sky, water. And you can see how nice the colors are, and there's a really nice gradation from like the lighter blue to the darker blue. So I'm really liking the colors in the water. So I think this is really great. Like for the coverage, it's really great. The colors that I expected we would have trouble with, we had a little bit of trouble with, but nothing we couldn't get over with a little bit of second coat. And now that everything's looking dry, you can sort of see that I might put another little glob on here, maybe a little glob on the numbers, but everything is looking pretty good. This is gonna make a really nice picture. So thank you for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content. Our channel, we do paint by number, diamond painting, cross stitch, bookbinding, all sorts of different types of crafts. If it's crafty and it's fun, we do it on this channel. And don't forget that coming up soon is Bird Week, where you have a chance to win a draw if you participate in Bird Week. So make sure you're subscribed for that. See you later. Bye.